Okay. We're back. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Am I live? It's not displaying. Hang on. I got a minute page. Yeah, right. I'm live. Cool. Cool. Alright, I'll post in the Discord because why not? Sure. I usually don't because I'm like, I don't care, but still. I forgot to bring up the chat. Oh my god, I'm real good at this, you guys. Oh no. I forgot to bring up my chat client. That might be a good idea. There we go. Because I usually fire it up in advance, but... Yeah. I guess the last time, we got into court. I think we did... Oh yeah, we... Because what was it? We swayed the tide. Because there was a... Yeah, what up, Kenny? What up, me? Because there was a sway of the tide with the jury in this case. What was it? Yeah, that's right. Because we were borderline going to be set to be not guilty, but then we had to convince them, and now it's happening for the second time in the same case. So we gotta keep using that gimmick because otherwise, well, we even put it in the game, right? So that's what we're doing from here. So we convinced them once, but you gotta convince them again. So fun, cool. I have considered the defense's counsel request for a further summation explanation of the jury, and have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, will you now proceed with your second summation explanation? Yes, second. It's like, can we just keep on doing this indefinitely? Like, every time it's like we're almost found, guilty. It's like, hey, hang on a second. Can we turn this around? Again. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman? We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to clearly state it concisely for the court, for the grounds of which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. Alright, so they're going to get their reasoning, so we're going to pry them accordingly. We're going to pit them against each other, as we do. The jurors' contentions. Sure. That's a word. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? He had 3 books of his. There was some novel alternative explanation. What the hell? What just happened? My TV just went black. What was that? What just happened? That was weird. Oh, it happened again. What is happening? Huh? Hang on, let me... What's going on? Is it going to do it again? No? Apparently it's fine now? I don't know. I think my soundbar might be freaking out, so it's trying to connect to the soundbar, so... maybe. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. There was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed. I must reconsider. Even if our woman is throwing books, it can't be related to the crime if the window was closed, can it? Yeah, that's right. How'd that book land outside when the window was closed? Dearie me, if it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit. Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring the homes to pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago and it gave me the sneezes. Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury at this time around, it seems. With one notable exception, of course. My learned student friend was unable to find faults in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused he is seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, enough talk, how about you? and no one else was even seen at the scene to commit the crime. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem that the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued any other way. That means, I'm afraid, that during the summation it's essentially established some other tangible explanation for the facts. But how? What even constitute whatever, a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman, and how? Those two details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and method of which of the attack was conducted. And here I was thinking this might be hard. But Mr. Naruhodo, you must have to do it, otherwise this really will be where the trial ends. No pressure then. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation, please. A preamble. I presume that you are prepared, counsel? Oh, yes, my lord. Alright, Nosuke. Focus your mind now. Clearly, the key to the summation is going to be the juror number 4, the maid, or should I say, Miss Karadib. Yeah, because she was in the room, so she should have most knowledge of what happened in there, right? So how did the book that you were in possession of land outside? We have a book that disappeared from the Karadib's house in the evening of the incident. And the 4th book found in the victim's hands. There must be a way to link the two. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes. Don't forget to keep an eye on Mr. Karadib and how she reacts, even to the things that other people say. Alright, sure. He was going to give me a little bit of an alert thing and I can pry her on. If somebody else says something and she reacts to it, maybe. The defense is rebuttal. The accused left behind evidence of the scene, didn't he? There's 3 books of his.
Hold it!
Ugh. Hang on one second. But as we know, there were 4 books, not 3. Well, what difference does it make? There's every possibility that the 4th book belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yes, that's the part that I've rolled with. Sorry? Well, the point the woman was stabbed. This landlord was a fellow who was at home, wasn't he? During a fiery scrap with his wife or something, he said. That's not exactly how I put it, no. Well, anyway, the point is, the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened. I think that's what you call a strong alibi. So I wouldn't have been the landlord who did it, and maybe it was the Nipponese fellow. Honestly, I can't see what this parallel is about. It's a done deal, isn't it? I suppose it is, since there'd be nothing witty left to say. Yeah, I'm assuming it's probably going to be like somebody went in. It's going to be either him or him that says something that's going to make her react, right? Because it wouldn't be like too far away that you're not able to see, right? Yeah, we'll go through them regardless.
Hold it!
So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean? Oh my, such a delight on your face. But I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I'm a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman. That's great. If one reads the morning's papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read from them in the first place? You see, modern, metropolitan, metropolitan, and rational thinking, wouldn't you say? And not at all extreme. As I see it, an overwhelming suspicious Japanese man is implicated, an overwhelming strong testimony. And despite 1 or 2 minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man was overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say? Overwhelmingly. But other modern gals and delighted to embrace the new fads, you know. So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you come with one. I'd be happy to do that too, if only I could. Let's do our very best not to go into the modern and metropolitan. For some reason I keep reading the wrong word wrong. Metropolitan. I keep trying to say it as metropolitan, or whatever I'm trying to say. Metropolitan young lady? Right. I'm glad you admitted rational here. Even the woman was throwing books. Can't relate to this crime if the window was closed, can it?
Hold it!
But what about the possibility that the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. How could you be so sure? The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Windows and lining are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. And no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, couldn't you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. Then what's the point of having windows, huh? Counsel, you will kindly refrain from childish bickering. Sorry. Somehow I needed to show this undeniable possibility the window was open. Guess this young man wasn't going to budge otherwise. Right. It's a little book. Hardly light threatening you in direct hit.
Hold it!
But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not? With flames of lava, I'll have you know. There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb. Well, he brought it upon himself. It's like playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree? Oh, yeah, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have been arisen out of your misunderstanding, Miss Carradine. Never mind you that. The point is that we're just having a joyful little dispute, nothing more. And I wouldn't have any more suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with the crime. Right, well, we'll see about that. But what about juror number 5? He doesn't seem to be turning a hair, Mrs. Carradine relentless onslaughts. It's almost as if he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is. Unless these two know each other somehow.
Hold it!
You just want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? The man's future is at stake here. Well, get in, me, and both then, like I said before. What? I told you already, I'm a day laborer, aren't I? Oh, I can have it again. What is happening with my television? Why is this? Why is it turning on and off? There he goes. Hang on. Let me see if I can... I'll turn off my soundbar completely. There we are. Now it should be off. Alright. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Christ. If I don't bring home some Reddies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. What? You heard me. My missus isn't one to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, you believe me. Another shining example of martial bliss, then. A simulation like this cropped up the other day, and it was, well, did you know? It's funny, but I can't quite remember. Sorry? It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blocked it out. Helpful. I wonder if Miss Beat will be dragged in the Thames by a scarf. Oh, mister? Is that Mr. or Mrs.? Hang on. How do I check the log? There we are. Oh, mister. Okay, my bad. Don't even go there, Mr. Soder. There must be some sort of way to jog his memory about this. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. Just gave me the sneezes.
Hold it!
Does that have everything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case? Sorry? What's that? You'll have to speak up, lad. Could you tell us more about that fire? It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. I had 75 candles off the top, it did, and what a sight to behold it was. You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship? Well, they don't do that in Japan. Of course not. It was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obviously. It seems it's a common custom in Great Britain, just an heard of. Anyway, I must have busted all my puff to blow them out. Oh yeah, I must have blown the wrong way somehow. The flames didn't go out, but the candles went flying all over the room. The furniture caught and everything went up, the whole place filled with smoke. Definitely sounds like a devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold? But how did you catch a cold with the fire? What a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, God bless them, they threw water all over me and they tried to put out the flames. And then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it. Ah, interesting. The windows. Bidding winter air washed all over me like a devil dancing on my grave it did. I caught a terrible cold from it and it put me in the hospital for a while. I won't forget their birthday in a hurry. I knew it was devil worship all along. But something about this old man's stories are playing on my mind for some reason. Yes, that's would have been why they opened the windows, right? To let the smoke out. We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsumi, could have attacked the young woman on the street, as well as he or she could have done it. Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced that they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary. What are you going to need to put them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation? Yes. I don't necessarily need to find contradiction between their assertions. Just the connection might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike. That's the spirit. Okay, so I think we'll pit. Okay, so the last guy was talking about smoke, wasn't he? Okay, so... yeah, can we pit this guy against the last guy? Maybe. I might save just in case. Yeah, I'm not sure how well the autosave goes, but just in case. Just gonna mess up 5 times and I'm screwed completely. Alright, so I'll pit this guy against the last guy, right? Yeah, okay, so add to his testimony, right? Oh, can I? Hang on. Can I press him again? Because he's like changed his testimony now? Hang on. Right. Okay, let's do it again then.
Hold it!
Did you change your statement from before? Well, yes, it was one of my most memorable birthdays, you see. I couldn't let it go unremembered. I'm sure the defendant will be delighted that you're using his trial to explore your past. And how is the memory related to the case exactly? Sorry, what's that? You'll have to speak up, I'm afraid. Never mind, he's as deaf as a post when he wants to be. But actually, this old man's in it. Anecdote, I'll say. This old man's anecdote might just provide the alternative explanation I need to make my point of some other jurors. We used unlit candles on my birthday this year. It's safer that way. It's regular candles I don't even light. Okay, yeah. Alright, I just wanted to press on that just in case there was something extra. Because I was saying that like somebody might perk up if somebody like, you know, we get some information out about somebody and another one's like, oh yeah, I know something about that, right? Somebody reacts accordingly, so yeah, I want to do just that, just in case.
Objection!
Do it. These two jurors' statements clearly contradict one another. They do? How exactly, counsel? Don't point at me again. I told you, it wasn't me. What's that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up. Juror number 3, do you see? Oh, me? You see what, sir? Do you hear juror number 6 of the county's birthday celebrations last year? It seems despite being a Londoner, he opened and wants his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the film room was filled with smoke from the fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Oh! Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Carradine household. And Mr. Carradine had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh, my
hat! Also, hang on. Yes, he reacted. pouring tea at a exorbitant rate.
Excuse me.
Juror number 4, do you have something to say about that? Mrs. Carradine. Oh, dearie me. What is the meaning of this? How dare you simply imply that I'm hiding who I really am? It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pensions now. What is it? When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window? What? I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. And what if we did? Oh, alright then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continue to give him a justly deserved book battering. Even though your house was on fire, I'll never stop throwing until the anger subsides. I'll be terribly bad for my nerves to do otherwise. Of course, I should have realized. That's a significant step forward, Mr. Narroder. You've managed to establish the window was open. We simply must have that added to Mrs. Carrady's formal statement. So can we press on her again? Now that you mentioned it, yes, the window was open at the time. I had clean forgotten, but it's true.
Hold it!
The false book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mrs. Carrady told us that he had been reading. Well, I really couldn't say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of Lion's Pride that he'd been reading? I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. Apparently you were throwing a number of books, but I guess this one just happened to land outside. And now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right. Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Because I couldn't, you instant little man. I didn't remember. For fuck's sake. Times like that, you just pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on. Well, as well you know. I really don't. I barely noticed it was throwing a book, much less the title of it. Oh, hang on. What do you know about this?
Excuse me.
What is it, juror number 5? You know something? I've never remembered what it was. That memory I'd blocked out. Ah. I was listening to what the Granny was saying. It brought it all flooding back. Everyone's like, oh, I remember. No, I remember. Oh, God, for fuck's sake. Classic Ace Attorney. Oh, I just forgot. Oh, I was just... No, it was actually like this. Christ. Who are you calling a granny, you cheek devil? I'm Miss Carradine, the maid. I'll have you know. The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time. It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work, like. I put my hand in the pocket for the wages earlier on that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out. Oh dear, what a disaster. You haven't heard the half of it, boy. Oh? The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out. I told her straight, I've lost a day's wages, love. Next thing I know, the blade was whistling past my ear, straight to the wall next to me it did, and about an inch deep. No words, just terror. I could smell it then, you know, that god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it? I'll never see the word lightly, never use the word lightly again. Oh, 1 second. No, it's better. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, it's not right, correct terminology, but alright. They'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined. No, I wasn't thinking that. Throwing household objects at people as well. It's so uncivilized. At least attack us with ire, using a bow or the like. What? Attack? Who are you going to attack? Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think. Alright, I'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if I dare. A woman in rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me. I guess I'll press on him and I get about this now.
Hold it!
Your wife really threw a kitchen knife at you? That's right, she was chopping meat with it at a tiny edge on it, believe me. Still, that's all memories, isn't it? I started with that smile and threw at me while we were courting. And since then, the list of things she's thrown at me has grown along with our relationship. That's not a healthy relationship. There was a cup, there was a glass, and a pot, and a kettle, and a chair, and a wardrobe, and a cooker, and a bathtub. What? A whole bathtub? Your wife must be even beefier than you. And things came to a head last week when she threw me right at the Thames. Still, she's not so bad when she's calmed down. She's a little sweetheart, really. I'm so happy for you. If you want to know what I think this whole idea of ladies first we're so obsessed with in this country was thought up by some clever lads who tossed down their Thames with few too many times with their wives. That's a very interesting theory. What a terrible thought. On the face of it, this juror's statement just sounds like a really extreme anecdote. But I think it might turn out to be an extremely powerful weapon. A weapon I might be able to make the jurors accept an alternative explanation here. Okay, so that's all I can get out of him. Alright. A woman in rage will hurl almost anything at you, right? I guess I can pit this. Oh. Oh. Throw almost anything, right? Even throw a knife at the window that just happened to land in the body? Maybe? That's extremely far-fetched. But hey, it might work actually. So if we do that against this... Alright, this might work.
Objection!
This is extremely stretching the line here, but alright, it could work. These two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. Good grief, you mean that they didn't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once. Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative? Oh my, whatever do you mean? Alternative explanation to us how the victim was stabbed in the back. So she just happened to throw a knife randomly at the window and just happened to land down at a person that was walking by. That'd be extreme. So there was actually no murderer. It was actually complete coincidence. That'd be crazy, man. What are you talking about? We've demonstrated that the fourth book, The Lion's Pride, was found to scene of the crime, originating in Mr. Carradib's room on the top floor of his house. Yeah. So maybe the person bent down to pick up the book that was thrown out the window, and just as they happened to bend down, the knife landed from the same window, just happened to land in their back and kill them. And that's why they were holding onto the book. Ah, maybe. It's all coming together. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object, besides the book, could have found its way out from the Carradib household on the street below. Oh yeah, wasn't there a knife missing from the knife block? In the Carradib household? Ah. I think so, right? I do think I remember that. What's that now? After all, Miss Carradine could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole? It's beginning to think that ever since the true origin of this book came to light, perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened. Now, usually in Eastern Gala, as the foreman of this jury would demand a straight answer. You give us a yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What was it? I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold exclamation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. Yeah, I'm going to say it's like you have nothing at all to back this statement up. It's an extreme stretch of the imagination, and the only person that can really recall is Miss Carradine herself. So, but I'm certain that at the very least, there warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object found its way from the Carradine household to the scene of the crime was the knife. Oh, the pocket knife? Oh, so it was a pocket knife, right, so it wasn't a kitchen knife. Yeah, I swear I saw a knife block with that knife missing. In the Carradine household, right? Yeah, I don't have anything on that, so... Grab the knife.
Take that!
Yeah, she just happened to unfold it and then throw it. Not like throw it as a blunt weapon. Or it happened to unlock in midair. Even more bizarre. Juror number 4, Miss Carradine. What? What now? I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Ah. Good Lord, counsel, what on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged in the victim's back, man. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Carradine were in the theorist of an argument. Miss Carradine was hurling anything that she could at her husband, but he backed up against the window, with the window that went open to clear of the smoke, though the book was sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe that book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying that it flew out the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand? Huh? Even my missus ain't gonna aim like that. Yes, I admit, there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now. Oh my. Ah. Yeah, this would be before fingerprint analysis, right? So we can't exactly be like, you know, analyze the knife to be like, hey, there's your fingerprints on it right there. So that's a shame. Miss Carradine, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not? Oh, busted. Thud. Uh-oh, my lord. I wish to change my decision. Oh, straight up, just randomly? Alright. Also need more water. Reading. There we are. I'm a woman of my word, after all. Thank you, madame. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end right now with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman! I'd have to agree. Not that I think that the granny did it, mind. Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. Oh. All together now, ladies and gents. Nice. And meanwhile, the old guy on the end is like, yeah, whatever. Huh. That was interesting. Yeah, so he did the old pit, like, a little bit of a pitting them against each other, but also prying information out of them also. So there's two mechanics happening at once. We did it! Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruto. So, as a result of the defense's summation explanation, the number of jurors' hearings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty and 4 against now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is now divided. And the trial will continue. Well done. There we go. Nailed it. Now then, Lord Van Zykes, does the prosecution wish to proceed? Have to get another glass. This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough. Yeah, straight just throw the rest away. But what so far is so repugnant, it's good for nothing save to the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zykes, the defense has put forward an incredible alternative explanation for what happened. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke, which I barely know how to respond, but let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves with the relative positions of those places being discussed. What do you mean by that? What's he saying this time? It would already be apparent that the crime scene in the Carradine household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road, which means the distance from the Carradine's household and the scene of the crime, yes, 15 yards. Let me see. 15 yards. That's around about 14 meters. For 14 meters? Oh, that's a little further than I'd imagined. And as you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, rightly notice having pretentious significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. Yeah, but how do the other 3 other books get scattered around the body? That's what I want to know. If this just happens to be pure coincidence. Huh. In other words, the smouldering book, once only held by the lady of the house, travelled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? And did the jackknife follow a near incidental trajectory to plunge in the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes you wonder, it's like people like you who celebrate in like the Middle East who have, weapons on hand, how like they, celebrate in a fashion by firing guns into the air. It's like, that those bullets eventually come down, right? So I wonder if there's any stories of like just the bullets like randomly coming down and just like, landing in a person. It's like, oh, my arm. Oh dear. Ouch, my foot. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. There's nothing I can say to that. That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice. Mr. Soto. Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he? Maybe let's pick our bows here. My lord, might I be allowed to speak? As judicial assistant, you may speak to the defense. Yes, go ahead. The prosecution may consider the idea of a fancy. But what about a defense as postulated was it believable enough to persuade the jury to change its lining? And as such, the court is adjudged to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Miss Joan Carradine, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination. Saints alive! Yeah, because you was there, right? But it actually be like do a testimony and be a juror at the same time. Cross-examination of a juror? Can't be. Order! Well, this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection!
Who's gonna clean that up, my guy? And unnecessary. But Lord Van Zykes. There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's partial theory has any truth in it, then both the burning book and the jackknife must have flown to the sky before the couple's eyes. And we must assume they will be unable to testify accordingly. What say you, witnesses? Yeah, what about them? Yes, sir. Constable Rolly Beat, reporting for duty, sir. Well, good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month on account of the villain who's appeared in my beat, sir. Oh, they are so heroic, these London Bolbies. Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more. Oh, Rolly, my hero, you make me swoon. Very well. I hereby reject the defense's request. Oh. Oh. And order the witnesses to stand to testify again. Oh, again? Oh, God. Go do this crap again. And henceforth explore the court details preventing the defense's alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir. Oh, boy. Alright, so did you see any books and or knives flying through the air? Or was it you guys that did it, right? Constable Beats report. Yeah, because we did get a confirmation out of Miss Garrity, right? She kind of like reacted to the knife and it was like, ah! But it's like, she didn't say that she'd seen it before or not, so... Stretching this corn out, this session out further than it needs to be. Oh boy. This case has nothing to do with Mr. or Mrs. Garrity. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his word. We are, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garrity household are top hinged casements. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it. It did leave the scene to go fresh, however, my trusty Rolly was there to make sure that nothing was disturbed. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on the front, sir. Well, this is quite startling. Top hinge cased windows. Or casement windows. The details are on the police report, Constable. Yes, I'm sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy. You can excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. No, sir. I'm sorry, but, what exactly is a top hinged casement window? And you cannot excuse your ignorance of such trifling remarks, my learned friend. Of course, sorry. I found it, Mr. Narhoda. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Carradib's room. Alright, I'll try. So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. So was it open from the bottom or top? Ah, bottom, okay. As a top hinged casement window, it swings open at the upper edge, you see. Interesting. Yes, it'll be quite difficult to throw something out there, right? I'm glad you reciprocated your ignorance. The casement window's most prominent feature is stay, a metal bar that prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. It prevents it opening? This is all news to me. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife were to be thrown out the window, through the open window, it would have kind of like bounced off, right? It would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below. No. Unless it was such a trajectory that happened to... Yeah, it'd be quite difficult for one thing, let alone two things, to make that distance if a window was open, like just ajar, right? How the fuck does all this come together? Classic Ace Attorney fashion. It makes no sense, but then in the end, it makes complete sense. It makes more sense than ever before. Crazy. See the problem then? Good. Your education in Windows is complete. There was never any possibility to value the book all that night, traveling 15 yards over the road. That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something that was discounted already. I guess the windows were completely intact, right? That can't be. See that roller? That young Japanese man used to collapse in agony. Oh yes, my darling, I saw it. Look how he crumbled before me. Oh, Rolly, you're so strong. How was this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed. Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again. The court awaits your cross-examination. My lord. Oh, good. Another desperate situation. Alright, I'll have to pry something out of this, I guess. Case is nothing to win, Mr. and Mrs. Carradine. Believe me, a London Bob is good for his word.
Hold it!
How can you say that for certain? A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. The most notable founding principles of the force written on it is a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty. He showed us before, didn't he? Did he? I can't say that I remember. To patrol the streets of London and uphold the peace of the common man. It's what the job's all about. And that's why I can't stand here before my long-suffering wife and tell you that Bobby's good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes, admittedly. Sir. Oh, Rolly, you're so manly. Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Get a room. No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Carradine? Ah, I see, sir. It was said earlier so, sir. Yes, well. So, could you answer the question? That was a waste of time, then. Absolutely, sir. I will answer the fullest of my ability, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Carradine mentions that can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing. Yes. I very much like you and your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you'll take some tales of London Bobbies and now we uphold our guiding principles. I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I only just arrived here. So that ends, sir. I'll be happy to lend you my warrant card for your persuasion. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get it through without shedding a few tears. Thank you. I'll try. Oh, okay, so that's added to the court record. Yeah, because he showed that earlier. I'm like, that's surely, because it has like a obvious graphic to it, right? So, yeah, it's just here that it was added to the court record. I'm guessing it was added here when it actually becomes situational to when we need it, right? Versus just having it forever. Just being like, oh yeah, I forgot all about that, right? Okay, so let's have a look at that then. Just in case I need to look at it. And it's like, oh, you forgot to examine it, dummy. A policeman strive to preserve the peace within these allowed a beat. Patrolling officer expected to walk 20 miles around the beat every day, furtherance of community relations. Any crimes that fall under the jurisdiction in the beat in which they are discovered. When the crime is discovered upon a beat, the policeman must assist the initial investigation and help detectives. Okay. That all seems fine. Alright, I guess we'll keep pressing then.
Hold it!
By which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct? Yes, sir. They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see. So they're restricted to as much as they can open. Therefore, anything throughout the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall out from the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Here is the location where the objects would have fallen. Yeah, but why weren't they there then? Yes. Directly opposite the scene of the crime, on the other side of the rather wide road. It would have been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinged casement thing before. Well, I would have another question for you, Constable. And what would that be, sir? How do you even know? Why would you have any idea about sort of windows that Mr. Carradines' house was furnished with? Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. Oh yeah, you go around and, you know, knock on them to wake people up, right? You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday. Oh, hang on. What's that?
Excuse me.
Do you have something to add, Mrs. B? Oh, sorry. You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that? Oh, I was just remembering. That's all. Oh, we really were so lucky. Lucky? What do you mean? Well, of course I felt terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rolly's beat. It was just so close, you see. What do you mean? Oh, I hadn't realized. Oh yes, that street Briar Road, that's the boundary between Rolly's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love? Constable B. Oh, yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with the interview in the occupants at the Carradine household yesterday. The house is on my beat, you see, sir. That really was cutting it close then. Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Carradine household is on your beat, does that mean that the paper next to it as well? Outside Mr. Carradine's house? Yes, madam. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat. Oh, why was he investigating? Hang on. How could they have seen it then if they were technically walking on the other side of the road? I see. I was unaware of that. Just to think of the woman had been attacked on the other side of the Bright Road. We would have never been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's just the life of a Bobby after all. Extraordinary people are Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of lots of us. Well, do you know what I think? I think it was all good Lord Wade reviewing my Bobby for Rolly for all his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling? That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it. Thinks perhaps we must be have information on record. Leave it to me, Mr. Narhoder. I'll take care of it immediately. Okay, right. Set updated. And now it's my turn, I think. Hang on, let me check that real quick. East side. Yeah, so I guess they were like off duty at that point, so they were walking on the other side of the road that wasn't a part of his beat, right? Okay. Hang on, did his statement change? No, okay. Just checking.
Hold it!
But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down and it was already dark. Oh, but Rolly and I was strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star. Sorry? The start of a guise to our turning happiness. Can't I guide you the answer to the question? The flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us. It would have lit up like a shooting star. I'd never seen a shooting star. I would have made a wish upon it. Let Rolly didn't expect it. I would have said 3 times at least. Of course, that's what with the smog and everything. We wouldn't actually see the stars. In short, are you trying to say that neither a book or a knife crossed the sky before you? Yes, sir, that is correct, sir. Sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir. It certainly seems like they're telling the truth. And then we saw a poor woman fall on the ground, so we ran straight up to help her.
Hold it!
Pressure on this. Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to question another officer. Is that right? That's right, yes. If it had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course. Don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box at every beat. Well, I guess she was literally on the other side of the road, but okay. So Rolly told me the way. Only, I sort of got a little lost on the way. Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. It's like, yes, you're so useless at times. I can't bear it. Oh, please. So I suppose they're gone for about 15 minutes? But like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed. I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true Bobby is never really off duty, sir.
Hold it!
Nothing to report? That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I swear to that on Jan's honor, sir. Really? That seems a little strange. I beg your pardon, sir? Strange, sir? Seems as irregular to me. This bad copy of the London's Pride was originally in the Carradines household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Yes. Or did you plant the evidence, Aha, it could be a different copy, sir. One just happened to be burned as well. Yes, 2 copies, and one happened to go missing. And just another one just happened to land into the... That's way too much of a coincidence. Even if that were possible, why would the victim be ripping a book like that in her hand? We can see from the photographic prints that she had a bag over her shoulder. Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene. Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The too mysterious about the knife ended up at her back, but how the book ended up in her hand. There must be some kind of common thread between them. Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Lawyer, sir? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? You're dating us, aren't you? I could tell. What? I wasn't really, what's she doing? Please. Just because I'm a woman, it doesn't mean make my testimony any less valuable. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am. I really don't remember ever suggesting that was dad to you. No excuses, I want to hear it. My voice will be heard. My lord, you let me speak, won't you? Yes, Miss B, I'll allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes even the path of least resistance is a sage one. That was a very loud mutter. I heard that. That Japanese man thinks the policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir. I might get you away with something like that, but my Rolly won't. Duly noted, Miss B. Please, I must humbly ask you to continue. What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder? Can I add something else to the testimony? I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though. Alright.
Hold it!
Miss B, nobody's questioning what you've told us. I saw what I did. That evening, I saw it clearly. That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back and the slinking away from the scene. Huh? I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming book or any knives flying through the sky. All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction? Oh, yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Rolly. He never gets so cross. Oh, interesting.
Excuse me.
What do we have to say about that? Constable Beat, is there a problem? No, sir, no problem, sir. Did your wife's remarks now just bring something to mind, perhaps? Oh, well, in a way, sir, yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened in the evening, that's all. You mean Miss Beat lost her way on the night of the incident? Well, you see, sent her off to find the police box, and then next beat over from mine. But she was gone a fair bit longer than I was expecting. I thought she'd be back in 10 minutes, but my darling was gone a good 50. Oh, Rolly, you're such a tease. But the reason when I was gone so long is the bouquet, silly. The bouquet? Sorry, but what bouquet are you talking about? Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Oh, so romantic. He said a for his failings and happiness he found together while doing his rounds. Yes, how romantic. Of course. You saved up for this with loose change? Ah. Forgot all about it till now. Had you, my darling? Oh, yes. But that was just between us. No talking about to anyone else, darling. Yet the problem is... Really? Oh. What was that all about? Constable Bid looked very obviously troubled about during that exchange. I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Narharder. But I'm quite sure what one thing. We have to ask Miss Beat about the bouquet. Miss Beat, this bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to have the details about your testimony, please. Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to. Meanwhile, Ben is like, this is all a waste of fucking time. What happened was I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while.
Hold it!
You mean you dropped your bouquet at the scene of the crime? Yes, that's right. I was so upset. When I ran over and saw there was a woman with a knife at her back, I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Roller gave me. It was a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting their light, so I hadn't noticed it first. Yeah, 1 second. And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on. Yes, and I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. And that's when I spotted my bouquet again. The funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all. Ah, and why is that? In case you need reminding, Miss Beat, the victim was not deceased. I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling from the other side of the road. Your husband, presumably? That's right, silly me, I got over to the wrong side of the street. Although I'm going to blame the bouquet this time, I can't think of how it got there. I really can't. So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of the bright road to the opposite. Curious indeed. Isn't it? But the worst of it is, I forgot to pick up the bouquet again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose Rolly brought me, with the change from the gutter spent so long collecting. By bouquet. Do you perhaps mean this sorry, solitary rose? Oh. Ooh, yes, that's it. So by bouquet she means a single rose. You can only afford a single rose. Yeah, I guess it's the thought that counts, right? That's the bouquet that Rolly bought me for our anniversary, and odd bits that he changed with odd bits of change that he found in the gutter. Maybe just call it a rose? Tell us, Lord Van Zyks, where'd you come by this flower? According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Garrity household. Huh, interesting. So, there was some way that the, Yeah, some way that this bouquet or rose ended up on the other side of the street. So that means there's a possibility that the knife and the book could also have somehow gone on the other side, right? But how? In front of the Garrite's house? Although it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay with street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Could I have it back now, please? No, I think for a good measure, the rose should be added to the court record as evidence. Oh. The anniversary bouquet has been added to the court record. I'm going to look at that right away. Just in case. I need to look at it. Whoa, 3D. It's a very stylish paper the flowers wrapped in, isn't it? It's just an old newspaper, Mr. Narhoda. Oh, I suppose it's just because I'm not used to seeing English print. It looks so exotic to me. Ah, I see. Something wrong? Oh, no. I was just thinking that if you're around to a stone-baked sweet potato in English newspaper, it might look like some sort of fancy cake. Ah, Sasota-san, we do love your cakes. Uh-huh. Yeah, nothing really suspicious about this. And that could come up later. An English rose is a much beautiful flower. This is a rose, is it? I've never seen one before. Do you know how to take interest in Miss Flowers, Mr. Narhoda? I wouldn't say that exactly, but I do know 3 types at least. Gosh, 3? Yes. Plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossom. Perhaps you should consider branching out, learning some that aren't fruit-based, for example. But has fruit, right? Is that just checking the rose from the other side? An English rose. Okay, it is. Yeah. Is that it? Yep. Okay. Just being thorough enough to examine all this just in case. Because that'd be the first time the game screwed me. It's like, you didn't examine the thing. You wanted to present the thing, but you didn't examine it first. It's like, ugh. But it's a symbol of our love. I want it back after the trial. You hear me? I want it back. Good grief. Rest assured I'll do my very best not to forget, Miss B. Okay. I guess I'll press this again. Oh, this is what I pressed last time? Oh, no, I pressed it on that, right? Yeah. Yeah, press on this.
Hold it!
Nothing to report? That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time, never looked away for a second. No one approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I swear on Yard's honor, sir. Really? That seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. It all seems to get that regular to me. This burnt copy of the Lion's Pride was really in the Carradine household. So the question remains, how did it find its way onto the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were there at the scene of the crime the entire time? Aha, okay, yeah, we've gone over this already. But he was like, yeah, it was there the entire time from the start, right? Yeah. Must be a common thread between them. Okay. Well, Mr. Narhoda, what do you make of all this? Yes. The whole idea of an invisible attacker has been troubling me all along. But I do believe I'm starting to get a picture of what really happened here now. The fourth book had no business being the scene of the crime. Made me sure that Miss Carradine was hiding something from us. But it's becoming increasingly clear that someone else would be hiding something from us as well. I think I must already be armed with everything that I need to strike a decisive blow here. This time, it's going to be told the whole truth about this mysterious affair. Okay, so apparently I have exactly what I need to get through this, but what? It makes me want to save my game. Yes. Okay. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oops. I think I hit R2. I mean L2 by accident. No. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no, you can press L2 instead of L1. Yeah. Okay. Top hinge casements, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm still not piecing it together myself. It's like, how did that end up over there, and how did this end up on the other side of the street? Right. Drop my bouquet and end up losing my way for a while. Yeah, what about the knife, right? He said the book was in there from the start, but what about the knife, right? That's what I'm thinking. Oh, they said there was something like that ran off in the distance, right? I'm just trying to think, like, what bits of new evidence have we got? It's hard. Yeah, I'm just thinking of like maybe doing this, being like, hey, it wasn't on your beat, so you shouldn't have been there, right? And I guess he's like just a policeman regardless, so he's gonna help. Right? Oh dear. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not really putting it together. And how did the books end up over there? There's other extra books. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I guess I could just like start doing things randomly, or yeah, this isn't quite making that much sense. everything was thrown out the window, you would have seen it, right? Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could like press on like everything again, just in case it's like something more that I'm missing. But you said I have everything that I need, right? Yeah, I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think I might go make another coffee and I'll come back to this. Cause I'm not piecing it together quite yet. My brain's not working that well, so I might do that actually. All right, I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Be right back. Okay. Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe I can present the bouquet, or the quote-unquote bouquet, as at the statement of her bouquet, so... I think maybe she can, like, say some more things on that. That doesn't make much sense, but that's what I'm thinking. Unless I can present the rule book here, being like, why did you go seek help when it's his job to do so, right? Okay, I might do that actually.
Objection!
No. The witness's last statement clearly at odds with this piece of evidence. I'm sorry, counsel, but I failed to see the connection. Oh. And for heaven's sake, would you kindly desist from that wide-eyed, panic-stricken look that we weren't to wear? It's just the only panic-stricken look I know. Alright, so we want contradictions, right? So what doesn't make sense with something else? You dropped your bouquet, right? So how did it land up on the other side of the street? So I'm thinking just presenting the bouquet with the statement, maybe? Where she stood, right?
Objection!
No? Ugh. Yeah, I'm just fucking grabbing at straws here. I don't quite know what I'm fucking supposed to do. It's like, I have everything that I need! It's like, what? It's like, I'm not quite getting it. Huh. Alright, I'll save just in case. I might game over here, so I'm gonna try. Unless there's some things that I haven't looked at yet, I'm pretty sure I've examined everything, right? Yeah. 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 Check this out. Whoa. Yeah, we found that. Okay. Something else on this bouquet, is there? No. Still. Nothing strange to report on that front, so... Okay. Can we present the knife? Here? Maybe? Maybe? Oh, yeah.
Objection!
No. I'm thinking maybe I might have to present on something and then they'll reveal something else once they present, so... That's more or less what I'm thinking, because I'm not really seeing any inconsistencies at all. What really happened here now? Something about the fourth book, huh? Maybe. Oh, maybe it's this? Maybe I have to present the fourth book here? Maybe. That'd be a bit much, but okay.
Objection!
No. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not quite getting this. I don't get it. Yeah, I might have to look it up, because I'm not quite getting this at all. I don't understand. Yeah, can I do that actually? Hang on, we'll load that previous save so I have all my checkpoints back. Right, okay. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I just don't want to be spoiled too far in advance, but... Yeah, I'm not getting this. It's not making sense, so I might have to look it up. Ace Attorney Chronicles. But boring. Bouquet. Okay. Oh yeah, here we are. Oh man, this spot is long. Shit. Okay, where are we? Oh yeah. Press testimony 5 again. Oh, I have to press it again? Oh, that's why. Oh. Hang on. Press testimony 6. Hang on. So apparently I have to press testimonies like multiple times? Oh, okay. Hang on, let's try this again. Let's press it again, why not?
Hold it!
Trying to like follow this guide. You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime? Yes, that's right. Oh, so upset. You ran over and saw her with a wound with a knife in her back? I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet and rolled it gave me. I was in a dark spot where the street lights weren't really light. Have we gone over this already? Yeah, I've already been over this, but that's alright. I'll go over it again. So the bouquet somehow moved the other side of the Briar Road to the opposite. Curious indeed. Okay, apparently I have to press this. Nothing to report? That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time, never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene, and there's nothing removed from it. I swear that on yard's honor, sir. Really? That seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. It all seems to get that regularly to me. The bird copy of the line's pride was originally in the Garradeep household. The question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Oh, that's right, yeah, he's like, yeah, it was there at the start, right? Yeah, I've already been over this. Yeah, so apparently according to the guide, I had to present Rolly Beat, but to what? Oh, present the anniversary bouquet on testimony 6. Okay. Yeah, okay. Sure. Okay, I'm not sure how this makes sense, but alright. You do you. Oh, that's right. Oh! I see. Okay, so if he was looking at the entire time, that he would have seen how the bouquet went to the other side of the road, right? Ah. Okay, right. I see. Yeah, of course. Okay, it's making sense now. I didn't think of that. It's little tiny details. It's like, yeah.
Hold it!
Oops, I don't want to do that. Ah, for fuck's sake, press the wrong button. Christ. Oh my god. Want to present, not press him again, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Okay, Christ. Alright, there we are.
Objection!
Okay, that's dumb. You claim, Constable B, that there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes here regarding the scene. But that can't be. What? What do you mean to say? In your testimony just now, Miss B, you explained at the court that when you arrived at the back of the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to the beat, the bouquet you dropped at the victim's site was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection!
Okay, when she returned, the bouquet was moved, so he would have seen if it moved, right? Ah, yeah. Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that Megier bouquet, if a single, sorry bloom can be so described. No doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs. Harsh, Megier.
Objection!
Not sure what that word means, but alright. But if that were the case, why did the constable B not testify to the act? Oh yeah, if he saw it, like why didn't he say so? But no one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. Yeah, okay, so when she came back, the bouquet was on the other side of the road, but how did it get over there if he was looking the entire time, right? Constable Bates swore that on Scotland Yard's honour. But the bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's what Rolly didn't mention, I'm sure. No, because Sally, it's not only your bouquet that we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mrs. Bates' bouquet, there's Mr. Garrity's book. And they somehow switched sides of the roads, but how? Mr. Garrity's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out the window by his wife. Would have struck the pane on the casement window and lighted here on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony that we heard, Miss Bates' bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Carradew's house. Yeah. There's no logical explanation for these things. Unless somebody deliberately moved them. Got any tracks in the snow? It was snowing, right? I know it was foggy, it wasn't snowing. What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Rolly's done something wrong. Don't you listen to the word the scrawny lawyer says? Withering on about books and bouquets. Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is. Oh good, Miss Carradew's come around. You might call it a nitpicking, Miss Carradew. But deliberately meddling with the scene of the crime is a criminal offense. It's called, tampering, Mr. Narhoda. Exactly. But the person responsible for tampering cannot admit to it. For a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection!
Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friends. Who could possibly have cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime in the evening. All the evidence and testimony points to that one particular person. Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime? Yeah, I kind of mildly spoiled myself by looking at the log there, but but yeah, that only makes sense because Rolly Beat was like the only person that was there the entire time, right? So, also this is interesting. It's like 2D variants. I actually didn't notice this. It's like 2D like drawings, redrawings of like the 3D characters, the portraits. Interesting. I never noticed that before. Like they didn't slap on like the 2D models. They just like redrew, like in the old Ace Attorney style, I guess, with the portraits. Interesting.
Take that!
Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Rolly Beat, it was you! What? A policeman? The member of Scotland Yard? What nonsense, why my Rolly would do something like that? There's no one starlighter than my husband. Nobody works more tirelessly for the people of London. Miss Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go for a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. 15 minutes, you're absent from the scene. You're now presuming that anyone would have to tamper with it. You're making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about your Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it. Well, he was gone.
Objection!
That was true. Constable B would have seen him do it. Yeah, because he was there the whole entire time, right? Oh. And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Miss B, it was after the defendant had fled the scene. Well.
Objection!
First you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations lack very one important thing. You claim that the crime scene was tampered with, but there is only one reason anyone commits such a reckless crime: to hide something. That's right, he's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why do we have anything to hide? It doesn't make any sense. You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering, and until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats. Constable B had a very good reason of wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime, but that's the key to this entire affair. Mr. Narhoda, have you managed to solve the mystery? Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation about the London police officer. You're mistaken. I'm sure that I'm not to point out the reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, we'll now explain to the court for a motive for this alleged tampering. Yes, my lord. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide where the victim fell. I guess. The book and bouquet wouldn't make sense, but sure. Where the victim fell to the ground. Oh, I guess if they were moved. Ah, so maybe it was killed by the knife that fell out the window and moved to the other side accordingly. He was trying to swap things around to be like, oh, we were over here the entire time. Silly. Right? That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What? Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? I told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road, we saw it happen, remember? It was right here, if anyone didn't already know. Yeah, but your sense of direction is kind of bad, right? That's certainly what everyone has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all. What? What? Oh, the scarf was connected, I didn't even notice that. That makes sense though. I'm beginning to wonder whether the tremendous trial will end at council. If that's your assertion, then the Count Court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime scene actually took place this evening? Right over there. Right?
Take that!
But that's on the opposite side of the road? I don't understand. On the evening in question, yeah, so he swapped the body, and he swapped like everything from like the other side to the other side. To being like, oh, we were on this side, right, the entire time. Look at all the stuff on the other side of the road, right? Clearly that makes sense, right? Surely. Oh, but if he moved the bouquet, then why did he do that? Or maybe he moved everything but missed the bouquet. Right? Yeah, because the body and the books moved. But the bouquet was still there. Maybe, yeah, she dropped it and they didn't realize because it was hidden in darkness, right? Maybe he missed it. Ah, yeah. On the evening in question, Mrs. Carroty's book fell directly down the open window above. And your bouquet, Miss Beat, was never moved at all. Right, that makes sense then. What did move was the scene, the crime itself. Good gracious.
Objection!
Perhaps she hadn't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place. That's right, I saw it with my own eyes. It was 5 o'clock in the evening, yet already dark, and there was already typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid. That was actually on the west side of Briar Road. No, that's not true. It can't have been. Constable Bates arranged for you to absent be while sending for your help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, they transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print. The victim itself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. But why? Would he been like, it's because it's not on my beat, so it's not my problem? Is that a real long-time reason, like, he moved everything? Because technically, like, his beat is, like, on that side of the road where the household is, but on the other side it's not, so maybe he was like, I don't want to deal with this, so I'll move it. Right, so then it's no longer my problem. Extraordinary. But the constable overlooked one thing. What? What's he to overlook? The bouquet, I presume. Right, yeah, because for some reason I thought the bouquet was on the other side and moved accordingly, but it was never there, right? Exactly. The prosecution told the court a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Zyke said it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay with the street lamps cast no light. Yes, it wouldn't be able to be seen in the dark, obviously. Which is why I was on the bouquet. That was found by itself in the original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And now it's all coming together. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond? Constable Rolly beat. He even said anything. What do we have to say to that? Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important? Oh, Rolly. It isn't true, is it? What the lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is, because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know. I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. Everything come out, everything exposed. Only it seems... It wasn't a dream at all. Good. Good golly! He's technically admitting to it. Order! What on earth is the meaning of all this? Oh, Rolly, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving our corpses is a criminal offense, isn't it? Wishing the victim dead would be one too. Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a represented member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London Town. I can't say, sir. What? I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation, for everything. I have a possible explanation. For why, on that particular evening, Constable B felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason. He was sleepwalking, right? What? How could you possibly know? You're a foreigner, presuming not to understand the mind of Scotland Yard policemen. And yet, Lord Van Dyke said this foreigner was uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please. Yes, my lord. Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence. At once, my lord. England, Japan, it makes no difference to where you come from. Human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. What gives away the motive for Constable B's unthinkable actions? It'd be the map, right? Because it'd be like, I want to move this from one side to the other so it's not on my beat, right? Correct? Or is it this? Yeah, because it's within his beat, right? And he's just so tired, he's like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with this, man. It's like more work on his plate, he's like,
Take that!
I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land and only have just arrived here from Japan. Which is why all the information about the London so-called bombies is completely new to me. I've so learnt that so honourable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in this world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizen on his beat is all kinds of ways. And there's no doubt the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly. Yeah, because that's where we've gone over this thread like multiple times. It's like the people reacting, being like, oh my god, they work so much. They work so much, right? Yeah, so obviously you have to come to the conclusion. This conclusion. But for Constable B, the day in question was special. Special? How? On account of this bouquet, my lord. Oh, yes. It was our very first wedding anniversary. Constable B worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal. When he and Miss B stumbled across the crime scene along Briar Road. I can do artwork and everything. Oh no, that's old artwork actually. When he first saw the shadowy figure from the floor, it collapsed on the pavement ahead of them. What must have been going through the man's mind? But son, on that particular day I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. This beat puts up with a lot of being married to a brother like me. I want to show my dear wife how much I care. This is the warrant card that the constable beat offered to lend me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on the beat, a policeman must assist with the initial investigation and help detectives. Aha! Constable B. Is that or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day? Yes. Everything you said, it's all right. Busted. So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat. Yeah, okay, so I was right. Yeah, so this murder happened completely by accident. Interesting. But still, he's still at fault though, so for tampering with a crime scene, so somebody's still gonna go under the wraps of the knife. Well, the wraps of the knife gonna go to jail, right? Oh. Exactly. To summarize, the incident usually occurred on the Constable Beats beat. Is that what I named him, Constable Beats? Constable Beats beat. Yeah. Good gracious, Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you've done? It was the first time since I became a copper that I'd ever cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal should do the lurking somewhere. Could still be working on somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where the victim was lying, or what that meant for me. When the crime is discovered on the beat, the policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why does this happen to have here? And why tonight of all nights? Yeah, he finally gets some time off to spend with his wife, and he's like, I gotta cancel all that shit to work more. He was like, nah man, somebody else's problem. Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime, so I told Pat I'd have to go to the nearest police block and fetch who was on duty on there. And it was then when I opened my mouth to speak, it just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat next to mine, Pat. So you have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right around Mersham Street then. So he sent her on a wild goose chase. To be like, get out of here so I can move this shit. Because of her poor sense of direction, it was like, oh, we're over on this side the whole entire time. Obviously. Yeah, she probably came back to the exact spot and was like, what? You're on the other side. Oh, we were there the whole entire time? Well, of course, I trust you. Right? I'm... Anime tears. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, Constable. I just wanted... Just that one night, to take my Patricia out for dinner. Oh, Rolly. Just that one night. You knew that incident was your evening of celebration we ruined. So you decided to move the entire crime scene to just outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street, to the east pavement up Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring Beats care. You see, I thought, well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see. I beg your pardon? Oh, of course he did. Otherwise my brother would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement. Ah, I see your meaning now. Oh, that's right, yeah, she didn't die, right? She She just got knocked unconscious. Oh, she was, yeah, she was in an unconscious state after being stabbed. Right? She didn't die. That's right. I forgot about that. But God got me back with my sins, didn't he? That's why. That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat. Oh no, Rolly, that was my fault. I should never have dropped in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly. And can you tell us, Constable? How many books did you move from one side of the road to the other in total? Oh, 4 it was. Yes, sir. Definitely 4. 3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsumi, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Carradine household, of course. But what made you place the book in the victim's hands when all the others were scattered haphazardly around? I mean... Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hands. Yeah, exactly, that's what I thought. Yeah, probably the book fell out first, and the person walking by was like, ooh, free book! Bent over, and then stab. So... Right? Yeah. I'm sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding. Oh yes, sir, no doubt about it, sir. Interesting. The 4th book's information has been updated in the court record. Okay. But why? But then I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only 2 people at the scene, and then Pat and both saw it happen. However, the which way you looked at it, I had to be the fellow who ran off and the one who done it. I thought... I couldn't have seen the harm, really. I didn't think that moving it all over the road would make a lot of difference. A jolt of difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it. Well, we haven't really solved this case yet. I mean, we got that piece of information showing you're going to jail, but still. It's like, is my client off the hook? Like, we still haven't confirmed that he didn't kill her, right? My lord. Yes, Lord Van Zykes. I believe that it concludes the cross-examination of the witness. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir. Mr. Prosecutor, sir. What became of Rolly? What happened to him? For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course. Please, don't punish my husband. This is all my fault. If anything, going to jail could be like the best thing for him, because he's like, I get to not work and sleep for a while. It's because I've always had this moaning for him to come home late. Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired. Alright then, my love. One last thing, Constable. Sir? Let this be a lesson to you. In criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Carve that lesson in your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime. Never again, sir? You mean to say? Leave, now. This trial is not yet over. Sir? Alright, they're done. Well, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Whoever thought a third party transferring their entire scene in the crime like that? Yeah, who was those two? Like, I remember those two weirdos on like day 1 that like never showed up again. Are they gonna show up in the next case, or? Like, surely you wouldn't make 2 unique character models for no reason, right? I thought they were gonna show up in this case, but yeah, those other 2, a completely different other 2 people. It's like, alright. Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here, principally. That they accuse Mr. Sasaki Natsume. He is the only person who could have possibly committed this crime.
Objection!
No, I disagree. Yeah, all we have to do is, get Miss Carity to be like, yes, that's my knife. I threw it out the window, and it's done. Now we know the truth of this incident. There was someone else. Another person could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back. Forgive me for being presumptuous. Yeah, because she did react once we, showed the knife to her, right? But I believe this prosecution is very well aware of the possibility already. Lord Van Zykes, is this true? Very well. Name the person if you will, and if further investigation is warranted. The prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing. You will name the other person who could have participated in the crime. Yeah, you, right?
Take that!
The defense would like once again to request a cross-examination of a new witness, my lord. Once again, my assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case, it's imperative we cross-examine the juror number 4, Miss Joan Carradine. Me? Oh, dearie me.
Objection!
That request has already been denied.
Objection!
But the situation is very different now. Miss Carradine, answer me this. What do you want now, you little toad? At the time of the incident, you were engaged with a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Carradine. And in the course of the argument, the minor house fire was ignited. To clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks out over Bright Road. Well, what of it? You threw this book at your husband, and when he was confronted with this book against the window, upon striking the pane of the top hinge casement of the window, the book plummeted directly down, finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident. Yes, as I said, what of it? During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Miss Carradine. This knife, the one you removed from the victim's back, have you really never laid eyes on it before? Yes, it's your knife. Ah! And don't faint like last time. I don't recall it. Oh god. Seriously? Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man over here in all that regalia said any members of the jury need to testify. Did he? Conveniently, yes.
Objection!
No, I have no recollection of saying that at all. Juror number 4. Oh. Make no mistake. Your jurors are not special in any way. You are not immune to the judicial process. You know something about this knife, madame. Let the truth come out. But that's just a common or garden knife. It could have come from anywhere. You have several like that at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know? What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying? What are you saying, please, Miss Carradine? Now you listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't hear the thought that I'd been injuring someone. Do you hear? I couldn't bear it. Oh, the poor woman. So, yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if we're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife at what you think. Come along now. Chop. Do your worst. Well, Mr. Narhoder, if I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it already. Then take this stand, juror. Oh? The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman. Thank you, Lord Van Zykes. I'm going to have to testify? Juror number 4. As I'm sure you will appreciate, having observed with your own eyes today, witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. So that means you have to testify against herself, or like say that she's like change her like verdict accordingly, as well as testifying. I wonder. Or maybe she'll be out of it completely. It's not quite clear. Truth of which witnesses hold themselves upon may truth with which witnesses themselves may not have even been aware. Oh, dearie me. So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Miss Carity. My words in this court of law today. We shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels? Certainly, my lord. Oh, that's what I was hoping for, my lord. Oh, excuse me. This is such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. I'm here in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer. Witness, state your name and occupation. Oh, yes, my name is Joan Carity. And I'm, well, I'm a juror, and such like. It sounds like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife or a maid or what anymore. The court decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madame? Yes, my lord. You will tell the court everything that took place in your household in the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth. Oh, dearie me. Chin up, Joni. Nothing to worry about now. Oh, it's him. And he's standing. Oh, I didn't know you were here, John. He's just gonna join her randomly. Nobody's gonna testify to this? Oh boy. Yo, what up, Dolius? What I mean? Wasn't it you in the room that day? Old thing, was it? Rather think I ought to testify as well, don't you? But what about your knee, dear? Don't you worry about that. I hardly notice it. I'm not the sort of chap to leave a comrade face the disability action alone. Oh, John. Well, a lot of couples in this case. I presume that you are Mr. John Carity? Yes, former 2nd Lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th of Numberland Fuelsters, sir. See my fair share of action. I'm now living the quiet life, as it were. The quiet life? Were you not engaged with incendiary battle with your spouse in the day in question? Well, yes. Quite. I believe this may represent first the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and now your husband. You now recount clearly and concisely the events in your home and what's the incident in question. Sir, at once. Alright. Time to cross-examine, hopefully for the last time. Who did it? Who threw the knife? It was you. 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 Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. I can't recall the reason now. I knocked the countstick over and set fire to the carpet. As soon as I had it out, though, I had to get the window open. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him. Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I'd noticed if one or two went missing, I'm afraid. Yeah, because I swear there was that knife block that had a knife missing, so... Yeah, a shame we can't, like, go back to their place and investigate, because... That Bailey taking the victim's back with one of ours. You have a job proving it, I think. It sounds as though it was quite a battlefield in your household today. Although an entirely one-sided assault, it seems. The enemy caught us on hops, so I had no choice to dig in and take the defensive message. And to be honest, if the enemy had kept shilling us for another minute, we'd be toast. Of course, the back to myself. Is only too aware that on every battlefield you're just a gnat's whisker from death at any moment. Are we still talking about a marital quarrel here? Well, I must say I'm dubious this testimony was shedding light on the origins of this jackknife. In combat, one's focus narrows such surroundings that are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. It may be a dead end. Van Zykes may well be right. Well, whatever the chances. We only have this last cross-examination to cover the truth, Mr. Narhoda. Yes, I'm afraid so. Very well, Counsel. Begins your cross-examination. Alright. Who did it? It was you. It was you. It was you.
Hold it!
Oh, I can recall the reason. It was the letter, right? That she found. The reason is that you told us yesterday, I believe. Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it was all started because of a note that was tucked into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Carradine. That's right, yeah, she found the note in the book, right, and she assumed that it was addressed to her, which randomly just happened to find it in a secondhand book, right? That'd be fucked up if you did that to somebody. Yo, what up, Crowbar? What up, man? How's the games going? Oh, we're getting there. I think we're getting very close to the end of this case, hopefully. Because we're slowly starting to make sense of this. Because it turns out that a police officer, like, misplaced evidence, and there was, we're trying to figure out how things got there and where. Yeah, because, I'll see if I can show you, actually. What do we got? Yeah, here we are. Yeah, because because the body was found on this side of the road, but it turns out that the things that were thrown outside of this apartment, right? But it turns out that the police officer moved the body from this side of the road to this side of the road just to cover his ass. So then we're trying to figure out, did she throw the knife out the window and happen to land directly in the victim, knocking them out in the process, or not? So yeah, we've already figured out that the book came from there, right? So we're trying to figure out if the knife came from there, this one. So we're currently trying to figure out. All this page started off as a note. It was tucked into the pages of the book belonging to Mr. Carradine. Rather passionate note, in fact. Nice, yeah. And Miss Carradine found the note, discovering her husband's little secret. She gave him a mighty number of slaps across his face for it too. What a sordid state of affairs. Hell on earth. I say, when a chap can't recall things, it's just a common discrepancy not to drag it up. Don't tell everyone. But besides, it was half of a wide mark anyway. A likely story. The waters runs very deep. And what transpired next after multiple blows to the face? Knocked the counsel over and set fire to the carpet. As soon as it had it up though, got the window open.
Hold it!
And the fire also spread to some items of furniture, didn't it? The bookcase, my armchair, anything I might, really. Just so happened that there was some bath water around that evening, so I sloshed that to put it out. A most curious presumption you put yourself in. Ours is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street where the water main hasn't connected yet. To draw water from a public water pump during the day, you wouldn't need any, you see. The lodge in this town is always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although the little mustached Japanese man always buys water in bottles, I believe. The defendant, Mr. Natsume, you mean? Yes, he received a stipend for his studies, you know, from his home country. Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off. Have you actually seen the state of this man? I believe he uses all of his income to buy books. Anyway, the point is I was able to douse the fire with the water, fortunately though. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find and throw at him.
Hold it!
even though the room was on fire? As far as I was concerned at the time. It was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames where the woman wants to throw. She must throw. This is most certainly not true of Soto takedown, Mr. Nutherder. How does she know I was thinking of that? So please cast your mind back and try to remember. It was a knife among the items that you threw your husband that day? Just say yes and we can get this over with. In all honesty, I don't recall, but I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see, some bread, a cabbage, garlic, a towel, and a sponge, and a napkin. Oh. Yeah, you happen to open the knife and then throw it, right?
Excuse me.
Do you have something to add, sir? Mr. Carradine. Oh, don't shout. Oh, sorry. I beg your pardon. Did your wife's remark now bring something to mind? Nothing of any significance. No. Just a barrage of projectiles that all thing launched in my direction. Was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and the fire poker I seem to recall. Okay, so apparently it wasn't towels or sponges. It was more hard objects. Ouch. And the woman's aim was uncanny. She landed direct hit within my... Good grief, we are not at home now. This is a court of law. Oh, dearie me. I'm so sorry, dear. What's she even doing with the teapot here? Honestly, John, I've never thrown such things at you. Obviously. Well, take a look at this then. How are you supposed to happen? Oh, his pipe's broken by throwing that. Your pipe, sir? Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out, one of her soft, quote-unquote, soft projectiles. She did, yes. And when I went to pick up the thing up, it was broken in two. I'd like to see the sponge do that sort of damage. I'd see, your pipe was broken. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Yeah, so if you're throwing solid projectiles, how come nothing broke the window? Just out of convenience sake. Anyway, I managed to bandage the thing up for now. You are one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear? I wonder what I should do to make up this account. It's insignificant. It could be important. The defense believes that Mr. Carradine's remarks now would be of great significance.
Objection!
This war veteran's words only tell us one thing. Betraying a fiery wife and pipes, as well as hearts, may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to a formal testimony. Indeed, common sense, one might say. Might one? In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir? Well, I don't see why not. Oh, dearie me, there you go again, trying to interrogate yourself with a young lady. Very well. The court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence. Alright, so I can get a good look at this, right? And I gotta get a good look at it from second one. I'm not gonna let this game fuck me over. Like, it's like you present the evidence, but you didn't look at it first, idiot. It's like, oh god, the amount of times that this game's done this to me. Yeah, it's cracked. I couldn't find anything out of place. Oh, can I look at the crack itself? There's a small nick in the bowl here. Look, it appears to have been made relatively recently. How do you know that? I guess I can like just recall how it was. Oh, actually, it would have been like after that effect, right? How after we like first saw him. So as you know, it was recent. But as you can see, there's all scrapes and dents all over. It's clearly a well-loved pipe. Yes, you're right. It seems to me recently that being well-loved goes hand-in-hand with getting some battle scars. This particular nick is catching my eye, though. Because it's clearly new. How do you know that? Based on what? Ooh, what's that inside? Oh, something's twinkling inside the chamber of the pipe there. Yes, I saw it. Something's stuck in there, I think. Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What's this? It's a fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of a blade or something. Oh. Interesting. Oh, hang on. Is the tip of the blade of the knife missing? Tip of a blade? Surely it could be. Right, hang on. Look at this knife. Oh, yep. Yeah, that tip's missing. Interesting. Can I look at the very tip? Yeah. Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo. Just look at the tip. A small piece of metal appears to be missing. Wait, part of it's missing? It could be wrong, but I just got a feeling. Do you remember this? Ah, that's the tiny fragment of metal that we found inside Mr. Garrity's pipe. Yeah, and then just maybe. Oh my, it's a perfect fit. So somehow I just knew it. Yep, so that places this knife and then the scene of the household, right? Okay, well there's that done. Because no other way it could have got inside the pipe unless it was inside the actual house itself, right? Anyway, I'm gonna have a look at the pipe again, just in case. Anything else I can investigate? It looks to be in a sorry state with that bandage around it, doesn't it? For some reason, it feels slightly ominous to me, like it's trying to shout a warning. Probably because it's the same blue as Mr. Carradib's dressing gown. I suppose it must be considered sentimental value, Mr. Carradib. We know he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this. Either that, or he can't afford to replace it. Yeah, so maybe she tried to, like, swipe at him with the pipe, but the blade went, yeah, like, she went like that, and she just made contact with the pipe and not with his face. So that chipped the pipe and also chipped the blade in one. Maybe. But he would have had to be holding to it with a great degree of strength with his teeth to do so. Okay, I think that's everything we can look at. Strong pipe, yeah. Strong pipe and strong jaws. Damn. I hope I didn't speaking of turn, Mr. Naruhodo. I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down. Oh no, it's fine. Thanks to Sasuro-san, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully. Well, thank you for that. Rebuttal, Mr. Garrity, but now if we could return to the crux of the matter. What can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim? Plenty of knives around our place, can't say I noticed one or two went missing, I'm afraid. So can I present that with this, right? Oh, okay, you have a bally good job of proving it, I think. Oh, okay, so I can present it here. Regardless, just in case I fuck it up. Just in case. Because last time, yeah, I really got stumped last time on the last cross-examination. I had to literally look it up and like, I see. And like it made sense after I thought about it. It's like, oh, but at the time I was like, no, I don't fucking get it. So, but here it's a little bit more clear and cut. So, yeah, so it should be the knife itself, right? Oop, wrong button.
Objection!
No? Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, maybe I have to present the piece of metal. Ugh. God damn it. Yep. Yeah. Whatever, penalize me. That's fine. Imagine if they did this in a real courtroom. You get 5 chances to fuck up. And that's it. Present. Right, I have to present the piece of metal. Duh.
Objection!
There we go. Okay, whatever. Same thing. It's part of the knife still. I have the right idea. Mr. Carrady, if I can ask you to have a good look at this, please. You can ask, but I can barely see a barley thing. You can't? They used to call me Dead-Eye Deb back in the regiment, of course, but that was some time now. Even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest. Oh yeah, I think it's at work, like the stickers on like the containers that we ship out. For some reason, like the print machine is like very old, so it's like sometimes hard. It's like hard to tell a 3 from an 8. It fucks me up all the time. It's like ugh. Really need a new print machine so I can like print it like. Cause like you can see it, but it's like very sometimes it's not very clear, especially when you're trying to rush and whatnot. So happens to me all the time. Oh, he does, dearie me. It's wearing some rather asked about every other letter and every other word. You must very dusty. What is that? A tiny scrap of metal? Yes, almost certainly from a tip from a blade. And what may appear first to be a tiny scrap, in fact, is a crucial piece of evidence. Interesting. And where did this event come by, this evidence? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Carradew's pipe. My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how that got there. And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, counsel? Why are you suggesting that was fact was somewhere related to the matter of stabbing on Briar Road? Yes. That means this knife was inside their house, obviously. I am. What? When I put together an on piece of evidence, or in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the truth of the case, my lord. She's standing on a box. Didn't even notice that. To her side, she looks a bit taller than she is. You appear rather confident in an extraordinary statement, counsel. Yeah, because obviously, like when he was sitting down earlier, she was like just as tall as him, but since he's standing up, he's much taller. So, very well then, present the partial evidence to the count. What evidence paired with this fragment of metal allegedly reveals the truth of the entire case? The knife, right? Or is the pipe? The pipe or the knife? The knife.
Take that!
Yeah. This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you will see that there was a small piece of the tip of the blade that is missing. A common issue with inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals use them and regularly leave tips lodged in their victims' bones. And what of this particular knife? No doubt the tip has suffered a similar fate, now languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim.
Objection!
No, that's not the case. The tip of this particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal that was discovered in the chamber of Mr. Garradeep's pipe. Ah! That's the first time I've seen him react like that. Good grief, Lord Van Zykes? I don't believe it. The knife from the crime scene, this fragment of metal, are a perfect match. Even he's admitted fault. He's like, fuck. Good golly gosh. Order. Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery? This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle. A miracle? So Van Zykes has figured it out, has he? Counsel, explain the extraordinary coincidence at once. Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is when did the fragment of this metal find its way into Mr. Carradeep's pipe? Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony. Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles. It did, yes. Okay, so it happened to... she happened to throw it at him, and then it, like, ricocheted off his pipe, and then went out the window. Maybe? I would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Oh, yeah, she knows. Yeah, they both know. They're both boned. Oh, dearie me. During the argument now between these two that occurred just as the victim is on the pavement below, Mrs. Carradeep flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Carradeep, instead striking the pipe in his hand this time. So can we put her down for potential murder, right? or murder attempt to murder, because she did throw the knife at him, right? Probably not with murderous intent, but still. It's like if it didn't like reflect with the pipe, then what would have happened? Which caused the tip to break off, of course. Good lord. Yes, and that is which the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Garrity's pipe. The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1. And yet there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing the tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out the open window. All too fucking convenient, I swear to God. In short, this knife which fell out the window of the Carradines' house is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back of the street below. Oh gosh, oh dear, oh. No! Yeah, so it turns out in this case, the murderer, or the potential murderer, was nobody. Interesting. I don't think that's been a first for an Ace Detective, or an Ace Attorney case before as well. It's like a lot of firsts for this game, that's for sure. A full body theory, I'll give you that. A complex bouquet of seeming trivial points plausibly arranged to create an almost possible vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristic Nipponese approach to bolting his argument. Sorry. But after all, it's just a theory. The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see... Oh, it's time for leg. It is spoiled by an insurmountable inconsistency. An insurmountable? What? Oh, really? You can see through it, but how? Lord Van Zyke, explain yourself. Where's this inconsistency you claim to be identified? An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with a knife planted in the middle of her back. Yes, in her... Ah! Oh, that's easy. She saw the book on the ground and she was like, I'm gonna pick this up. I'm gonna bend down and pick this up. And then the knife fell and went right in her back, right? Easy. That's right, you silly old man. Now, Joan, old thing, what are you getting so excited about? Let us consider the basic facts of the case once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. The knife that struck her head from her falling above. There's no possible way that it could have planted itself in the victim's back. Ah! Yes, there is. Easy. Again, this is a simple case of like you thinking like 2 steps ahead of the game. It's like I know. It's like I need to get to the point where I get to be able to present myself accordingly. It's like trying to like spell it out for you. It's like trying to be like smart but not too smart. It's like trying to like hold your hand along the way, but like not trying to like grasp it, you know, really tightly. Order. Quite right. You see, that's exactly right. The knife itself had fallen over from above. It would have struck her on top of the head. Well, he's lost for words. Look. I knew it. I never liked his theory in the first place. I don't know though. What really did happen? It would appear the defense has made a rather spectacular blunder. If theory was even given one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friends, is history. He's thinking, yeah, I gotcha. But I got one more ace up my sleeve. We are so close, I can see the truth. I was so sure we were on the right track. But now, the way has been blocked completely just by one simple inconsistency. Or in other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency, and the theory will stand. Mr. Soto. You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all. And your mind went blank. If the path you're on is indeed correct, then the way will present itself. The key to this is in the court record, I'm sure. And the information all the information you need is there. It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tactic attempted to use theory is fatally flawed. I see the burn marks on the back of his coat as well. I just noticed that. It's a good attention to detail. And this inconsistency doesn't really mean I was on the wrong track. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test. Yes. If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way that it could have hit her in the middle or back. Under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying? Counsel? There is a piece of evidence in this court record that explains the inconsistency. That can explain how the knife fell from above that could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer. Goodness. Utter madness. So Van Zykes is if the defense lawyer? Yeah, because in every Ace Attorney game there's always a major defense lawyer. Yeah, I think it like always changes for the first and last case, but there's always like a major defense lawyer that's in every case that you go to. Seen so much of him, but I never thought about it. Yeah, because there's always like one major defense lawyer that's in like majority of the cases. Because in the first one, it's who was it? Oh, I forgot his name. Who is it again? I remember his first name. It's Miles, right? But what's his last name? Oh, Edgeworth. That's right. Yeah, Edgeworth. Yeah, he's like the most notorious defense lawyer because he was in the first game. So yeah, it's like Edgeworth and then Von Karma, and then I forget the other ones, but I remember the one from Dual Destinies because that's the one I played through the most. So, that's the one I most relate to. So, because I believe that's the first one I played through. I played through on the 3DS. So, and that's something I'd like to eventually play through on stream. Play through Dual Destinies at some point. Get the what is it? Not the Phoenix Wright trilogy collection. The Apollo Wright trilogy collection, because that's part of that. So yeah, so I reckon if I were to stream another Ace Attorney game, it'd be that one for sure. Yeah, I reckon that'd be fun. Because I remember that gets real cool near the end. So, like at the start, it's kind of but as it goes along, it's like, oh, this game's amazing once it gets like towards the end. So yeah, I really enjoyed playing through that. Out of madness. Sure, this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak. Would be alright if they spoofed one of the famous US or worldwide cases. Might be inappropriate, maybe. Yeah, or maybe if they like based like one of the cases off like a very famous case or something like that. Yeah, I assume that they wouldn't like, you know, do it one for one, but it's like we can take like this, you know, this fine line of like what happened and kind of change it a little bit. So obviously it's like, you know, maybe making it a little bit more fun. But I guess there's usually a murder, regardless in like every Ace Attorney case. So O.J. Simpson inspired case, maybe? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually did that, but who knows? Perhaps. Though I guess like a lot of like cases aren't really, you know, knowledgeable to the public, so yeah, unless they're like really, really famous cases where they actually like get like press and media and whatnot involved. So this is the last inconsistency, the final piece in the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last. The evidence that explains how the falling knife began lodged in the victim's back is the book.
Take that!
Right? Yeah. This false book found in the case, found the scene, is the final piece of evidence the defense will present. The burnt book. Is that not Mrs. Carradines' book? Yes, and to understand the significance, we have to consider how it came to be in the scene in the first place. The photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hands. Yeah, so it just happens that she happened to be walking by as they were having a fight, and then picked up the book, being like, "Oh, free book," and then the knife came. and then the victim holding it in her hands. But as we all well know, it was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that. Quite so, as part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road. That's true, however. As part of his testimony, Constable B made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. Yeah, he was like, it was already in there in the first place. But what made you place that book in the victim's hands? Oh, well, so because that's how I found it. When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in the hand. Yeah, I remember. That happened like 10 minutes ago, I was there. In other words, the victim had already picked up the book in her own violation. And clearly, it must have been before she suffered the knife wound. Well, I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she really doing much of anything. So the question becomes, why did the victim like that have the book in her hands? By Jingo! I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now. Oh, dearie me. We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Carradine household on the pavement below. Precisely the moments that the victim was walking past. Yeah, though I guess like a lot of the court cases in these games are like puzzles themselves, so they probably want to like, you know, design them in the way that, you know, it's like we know what's happening, but it's like the player's got to slowly figure it out and whatnot. Yeah. And I think that's like a lot of the Ace Attorney games actually don't really translate that well to English, because apparently 2 and 3 they have like a lot of cases that don't make any sense in those two games, because apparently like they're trying to like translate from Japanese to English, it's like trying to like translate things that don't really make sense, and it's like apparently 2 and 3 have like a lot of problems according to that. Because I have seen like bits and pieces of somebody's playthrough and they get like really mad. It's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but in like more recent games, it's like they've probably obviously been getting better at that. So yeah, but I remember seeing clips of the second and third games, like somebody getting like really frustrated. It's like that doesn't make any sense. Yes, exactly at the moment. The young woman was walking along the streets with the light fog when all of a sudden a book fell right in front of her. The book I threw? Yes, Mrs. Carradine, and what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you're walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement? Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose I might have reached down, you like that, and picked the book up. Yes, that's exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book. Oh heavens! And when the woman reached out to pick up the fallen book up, what position would the back would have been in? That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. And then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still being bent over, picking up the book. Yeah, I came to this conclusion like half an hour ago. The next object fell from the room above. The jackknife straight into the middle of her back. And at that same time, walking the chance directly behind Mrs. Green was the defendant, Mr. Sasaki Natsume. Well, I never! It appeared that Mr. Natsume had the woman simply collapsed on the floor. In the dark and the fog, he didn't see the knife falling on her from above. Ah! Yeah, that's right, because he kind of like looked at her. Yeah, didn't he say that he saw that she slipped? So I guess he didn't recall seeing like from a knife at all. Because he was in front of her, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And from another direction. And the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker. So there never was a real culprit from the scene in the first place. No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in a fortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind the case. Got him. Nobody did it. Nobody go to jail. Except for the cop who moved evidence. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Carradine. The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wonder if perhaps it might be something like that. There, old bean. Poor Mrs. Carradine. Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it was all my fault, wasn't it? Well, technically, yes. I take full responsibility. Let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book. Yeah, it's like next time you're getting into a fight, you're gonna think about it. You don't want to do all this all over again. And I threw the knife as well. John dear. Yo, what up, Pete? What up, man? You home already? Or are you still at work? I'm guessing you might be on your way home, or either or. Had to sympathize when they drag you through to only admit defeat? Yeah, exactly. Like, we spent all this time, then how long have you been at court? All day? Like, oh dear. John dear. It's alright. I just got home? Oh damn, early for you. Shit. Yeah. Well, if you want to play something soon, we can do that. I'm like on the cusp of finishing this, so we could do that. But if you want to eat first, or up to you. It's alright, I know. I'm ever so sorry. Truly. Yeah? Yeah, for sure. I'm sorry. You lost Jenny? Right. You don't want to catch her with your bad back? Oh dear. Yeah. About party animals, yeah. Yeah, whatever. You want to do that or Dead by Daylight or whatever. All good. Lord Van Zykes, what news of Miss Carradine? She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events left her in especially flustered states. However, I believe that she'll recover in due course. There is no cause for concern. Wheel of Fortune 24-hour stream? I actually want to, next time I get Nick down, I want to do Wheel of Fortune again. I want to do, what's the other game? Oh, I forget. It's the other trivia game, the one with like the 8 squares or like the 9 squares. I forget what it's called. Monopoly? No, not Monopoly. Monopoly would be fucking boring as hell. Like doing that. You could probably do that multiplayer, but it's like another trivia game. And I remember I was considering it last time, but I was like, nah, trivia I'm not too great at. But still, we could do it. Celebrity Squares? Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, I think it might be something on that vein. But it's another game. It's another like trivia type game that that Ubisoft did. So yeah, I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, it's on the PlayStation Store somewhere. So yeah. However, I believe that she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern. Actually, I might be able to look it up. Hang on, actually. Don't mind the funny blue screen. 1 second. Hold up. Hollywood Squares? Yeah, it's something like that. I think it might be like another game show I'm thinking of. Hang on, 1 second. Don't mind the funny blue screen. Hang on, I'm doing something. 1 second. Because I believe I added to my my wish list, right? How do I access that? Oh no! How do I get to that? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. What? How do you get to the wish list? Because you can add stuff to your watch list, and then you can, when it goes on sale or whatever, it notifies you. So I did it for that sake, for when it goes cheap. I can be like, yeah, I can grab it. Sweet. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. I'm in PlayStation Plus. That'd be why. Adoy. Ah, here we are. Got it. Oh, it's Jeopardy. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Jeopardy. It's not Hollywood Squares. Christ, what am I thinking of? That's the wrong game completely. that's the wrong Hollywood game completely. Yeah, but Jeopardy's the other one. How much is it right now? It's like $30. Yes, not even that much. Yeah, but still, I reckon next time it comes down, I might do Wheel of Fortune again, and then I'll do Jeopardy as well. So, yeah, for sure. However, I believe that she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern. Yes, unbeknownst by themselves, they cause what could easily be a terrible tragedy. They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions. Yeah, and I might be able to get the camera set up as well. Because I think last time I was trying to use it and we were both sitting down. I think the camera was trying to autofocus on us both. So it was trying to zoom out, but I reckon if I start it and it's me sitting down and then I move and then he sits down, I reckon it should be fine. So yeah, I reckon we might try that as well. There is some good news, however, my lord. I think I had word from hospital where the victim is being treated. Their condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes they regain consciousness soon. It's strange. We have been talking about the victim all this time, but we never once met her. How wonderful! The woman is out of danger, it seems. Yes, that is good news. So, Mr. Sosoke Natsume. You're off the hook, it seems. You didn't have to testify or anything. Yes. On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take the opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable kindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies. No, it is me who should have been begging your pardon. Oh no, Mr. Natsume. That evening, when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? Oh yeah, he just ran. Like he didn't, be like, what's wrong? Right. I was sure that the woman was dead. Yes, Constable Beats said the same thing, didn't he? He thought that she'd been killed too. I suppose she could have looked completely lifeless. Yeah, what's the word? It's like only a guilty man runs, right? It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me. That's right, he said that his apartment was cursed, right? Poor Sasaki-san, his imagination has really got the better of him. Yes, poor man. So when it happened, I thought that the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should never have dropped the books like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police. Instead, I managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry. Well, I guess he apologized and everything, so that should be it. One could indeed say there's sort of mysterious evil spirit that's at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were fooled by this spirit and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Zykes, our young lawyer here from the east, that chain is now been broken and the spirit exorcised. I highly commend you both. Oh! Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord. In concluding this trial, I must ask you one last time for your decisions regarding the defense's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court? As the foreman of this jury, I can assure you that we've reached a fair and just conclusion. I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times. Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure. Oh, and he's sitting in for her. Sitting in for all the beam while she's out of action, you know, I knew what her best decision would be. Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and go start work? Well, it's about time. I say I have a co-worker or a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I? Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
There we go. Nailed it. Very well. Mrs. Asoke Natsume, I hereby pronounce you... Got it. Confetti. Yay! Every time. Not fireworks and everything, dude. And finally, Mr. Natsume. Oh, yes, Lord Sir. You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture. And you may never again be brought here before me. Oh, yes, sir, of course. On my life, I swear I never set foot in a courtroom again. I'm transported to tears. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned. It's over. He won't last a day on the outside. Yeah, exactly. He's going to be back in here in one day. This happens to be convenience, let's be sake. It's like, oh, I happen to be right in the wrong place again. It's like, oh dear. 20th of February, 3:17 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Oh, Locum. Wait, you mean me? Of course! Is there another Locum here? Is there even one? Compared to the original Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, your name has been rather short, hasn't it? What's wrong with using my actual name? Oh, at last! I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilant jubilation! Heady, hearty happiness, hurrah! Oh, I am pleased Mr. Natsume is delighted. Would it be so hard just to say that, then? Locum, you did it. You saved me from the brink. Well, what happened to the poor woman that was in the way of your fault, after all? I'm just glad everyone can see that now. No, not that. Lovely, loyal Locum lawyer. Yes? I mean, as I said before, I've just never got used to the life right here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners, I see towering brick buildings. And from high up windows, I see them looking down on me, laughing. Look at that little hunchback. You better go back home then. Oh dear, I'm sure it's in all your head, Mr. Natsume. But today, you, Locum lawyer, gave my gloom in the boot. You stood firm behind that botanical bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare like baffling truth. This guy's read the dictionary one too many times. And when I beheaded the blinding fireworks among the beams of Bailey's roof, I bellowed, "Behold, the best barrister ever born!" He's just talk over shore. Now back to my usual exploits, right? I swear I just stay in my room all day and read. I swear I don't do anything else. Well, that's very flattering. I'm very pleased for you. This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount my old friends back in Japan. And an anecdote is what's become of all my hard work. Ah, there you are, my dear fellows. Oh, this guy. I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning. Oh, Mr. Sherms, what a pleasure to see you. As I am here not a moment too soon, disaster has been averted. I am glad to see. Oh? The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruhodo, and I wish you the very best of luck. You see, you're here far too late, my guy. It's already over. It's just that it's just finished. What? No. Then my haste was in vain. Ah, it's you, Herlock Sholmes. Oh, have you met, sir? He's the one who put the curse on him, right? This is Mr. Natsume, the man you arrested, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters have taken place in the gloom. Either you or your bleak lodgings of that prison cell. I simply couldn't place their curious face in the light. Charming. This is all your fault, Herlock Sholmes. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. My apologies, sir, but I assure you, I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned your pill one lady ran off, are you not? She'd be taken back to the hospital more urgently. I feel perhaps that she would regain consciousness by now. Oh. Yeah, I guess. But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience. Yeah, if she was conscious, I guess this whole entire thing could be avoided, right? I do feel very badly about how I behaved. Well, never mind. Now then, what was it that you wanted to say to me, sir? Nothing. Priceless. Oh, I am sorry. Really, but... that was quite priceless. Poor Sasaki-san. Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely enchanting experience without paying a penny. And, it would seem, you were not even found guilty. But there is no bright side. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume? Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits, and now by the Reaper. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's the long-going rumor that Lord Van Zyke, he always wins his cases, but those who manage to slink out and manage to not be found guilty end up dying. So your days are probably numbered regardless. I haven't forgotten, what facing the man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty, you're still doomed. Yeah, it will be alright, Mr. Natsume. If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you. Hiya! Oh, example on my guy. With a perfectly executed Sasuke takedown. Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of a warning might be nice next time, Miss Sasoro. So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan. Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon. Oh! It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I visited universities, libraries, bookshops, and I'd be honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here, and the sea that it has shaped, and I've come to realize that it is my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it. That's very touching, Mr. Natsume. Or, perhaps in less veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world, to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse? That's not it at all! One more I learn of literature, the more the strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt a pen and work of my own. Oh, I see. A work of literature by Sasaki-san. Could be an interesting read. Yeah, I guess if you're reading, if you're really into books like that, it's wouldn't it be hard for you to be like, hey, I'm going to write a book of my own, right? And what about Miss Sasoro and yourself, Miss Naruhodo? Sorry? What about us? We returned to Japan along your side, your mustache companion. Why would we? A week has not passed yet since we arrived in London. And only now does it feel like as we've finally found our feet. And you are accommodated in a hotel at present, are you not? That's right. We need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us. I've calculated we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted. Well then, you can take my lodgings. Oh? The windowless room? Ah, but what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up for the floor and ceiling and walls. I guess if it's cheap, then there's an option. Great. And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit. Oh my, an evil spirit. Yeah, free evil spirit. Oh yes. That tries to suffocate while you sleep. It's an infallible wake-up call. We'll think about it, if that's alright. Also, what are you going to do with all the books you bought? How are you going to ship them all back to Japan? Quite difficult. On this time period, anyway. Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. Would you consider taking lodgings with me? Really? Well, a vacancy has only conveniently presented itself. Although it was up the attic, I might add. Are you sure it wasn't just the storage loft? I spoke with the landlord in this very morning on the matter, in fact, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume that you have no luggage to speak of? Oh, this is simply wonderful. What an honor to be invited into the lodge of the greatest detective's office's attic. I'm too overcome for words. So suggesting that we look elsewhere out then. If he's going to charge us, then why not? Then it's settled. Iris will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. I insist. We're not... Oh, okay, him. I don't know what to say, but thank you, and yes. Wonderful. Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for the formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shan't take long. Somebody's happy. Yeah. She gets to live with her idol, basically. Well, not her idol, but still. She, like, read all these stories and whatnot, so it's like, ah. It's very, like, one-to-one with Mia and, like, the Silver Samurai. Yeah, because in the original Ace Attorney series, like, Mia is a fan of this, like, kids show called The Silver Samurai, and apparently, like, there's one case where you actually do investigate the Silver Samurai show, and she's like, oh my god, I can't believe it. Locum. I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsume, it's been a privilege meeting you here, too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong here in Japan. But look, we'll meet again one day. Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer. Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author. Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have little doubt Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening. And so, with Sasoki-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Sholmes to become our new owner home, 221B Baker Street. Is that the end of the chapter? Oh, not quite. I thought we might have, like, began here, but that's alright. 20th of February, 4:41 p.m., the attic room. Got any beds? What are we gonna sleep on? So this is... It is to be our new office. Yes. Our office? I like the sound of that. Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it? I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step, but I like to think that we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Oh, it looks way different without his coat and his hat. Like a completely different person. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, thank you so much. It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it. Good, I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you. Everything was hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. Wait as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We'll have to celebrate. Iris, you must let me help you. Alright then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid. So, Mr. Naruhodo, how's it feel? To have your own office in the capital? It's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what adventures await us. Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my office for these purposes. Until I discovered the dark truth about the City of London, that is. Sorry? London is a glorious place full of wonder and opportunity and prosperity and mirth. By the brightest lights, cast the darkest of shadows. Shadows? What do you mean? Well, I believe that you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So, once again, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London. It's like near the end of the game, we're just getting established with our office. Though I think at the first Attorney game, do you start at office? Oh, you do, right? Yeah. Yeah, because I believe like the first murder case is actually your boss, right? Yeah. And you end up taking care of the place, or end up becoming like, you know, the number one in charge after she dies, right? Yeah. Of course, at the time. I had no idea the significance of those words Mr. Sherms so casually spoke. But it wasn't so long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. Oh, and that's the end. Okay, there we are. Sweet. Cool. That's the end of that case. Excellent. All right, we'll save here, and we'll do the beginning of the next episode. Just to start it. Because how long have I been going for? Just over 3 hours. Doesn't feel like it. Damn. There's like some points in this game where like it grinds along, and suddenly at some points where it's like, oh man, this is great. This is great. So, it's like when it's like the start of the case, it's like, but when it like gets going, it's like, yeah, awesome. Episode 5. Yeah, so this is the last episode, right? Yeah, sweet. Cool. Alright. Sure. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was 6 episodes. No. The Hound of the Baskervilles.
It's coming! Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us.
Chosen one.
Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. "For this is the diabolical hound of the Baskervilles."
Uh-huh. The dog did it. Got it. Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. Oh, so they were there for 2 months. Cool. And that discontenting courtroom experience that we were first thrown into in the day it arrived in the country. And Sasaki San's terrible idea was followed closely behind, and we emerged victorious. However, then came the abrupt ends and our opportunities to appear in court, which highly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur and an unknown student of law from a faraway land. Yeah, so we got 3 cases in a row. Oh, not 2 cases in a row, and then it was like nothing for 2 months. Huh. So our life in a little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by the fateful telegram. 18th of April, 9:13 a.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. So how's this place look now? Oh, nice. Got desks set up. Cool. But where do you both sleep? I'm guessing that might be like an offshoot room, maybe. Perhaps. That morning, I was woken by the unresidential knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Sasuro-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Sasuro-san? Yes? It's time for us to leave for court already? What do you... Let me see, what case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone in court at the moment, am I? Oh, of course not, oh, that's silly of me. But I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down the stairs to go down to Mr. Sherms' suite? Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave the court for fight-fitting form. We're not going to court. Let me see. What cases? Oh, she's losing it. She's hungry for the courtroom. Here we go again. But don't work. What do I do? What do I do? Okay. So I might leave it here then. I'll save here. Just to get it going. Alright. So that'll be it for now. Cool. Excellent. Yeah, so I think we should be able to finish this game up in 3 more streams, I think. How long is one case worth? Like 3? Like 2 or 3 streams? I'm not too sure, but... Yeah, I should do like a chapter per stream, so I think I might be like 3 more streams, so... You'll see. Yeah. But I'm not sure if I'll play this next week, because next week I think I might take a day off from streaming. I think I might only stream 1 time next week, and I think I want to play Final Fantasy VII, if there's going to be anything. Yeah, because next week I'll be attending a certain thing in the city, so I reckon I might be busy with that, so... Yeah, because I'll be going to see Terminator Live, which what you don't know, which is... It's a presentation. They'll be showing Terminator, the original Terminator movie, but they'll also be playing a live soundtrack as it's going on, which is very cool. So, very cool indeed. So that should be enjoyable. You're on now? Alright, no worries. Sounds cool. Yeah, you gonna go live, Pete? Because I can raid you or I can raid Fran. Either or. Yeah, because they did a Blade Runner one before, and apparently they did one for Drive as well, but I missed both of those. So when I saw the Terminator one, I'm like, yep, I'm gonna go for that. And both me and my friend are gonna go see that, so that should be cool. And though I've seen comments like, it is a little bit expensive, but apparently, like, obviously you have to pay, you know, all the decisions and whatnot, so... And I've seen some people have been like, man, I could buy like the original VHS copy for that much. So, but obviously they don't understand. It's about the art form and the experience, not being like you sit at home and watch the movie, my guy. Yeah, and hopefully it should be loud, which I'm expecting as well. So, but I'm expecting that sex scene to be super awkward. So that's gonna be like, yeah. But yeah, I think I might raid Fran then. If Pete's not gonna go live. Oh no, Pete is live, never mind. We'll raid Pete. Yeah, so I'll be over playing with Pete with Party Animals in a moment once I jump on my computer, so you can go watch me over there. But for now, go check him out. Or else. That's alright. Yeah, give him a follow. He's definitely a cool guy. I see. Let me do the good old fashioned. Let me go to my own page so I can rate easier. Oh god, I mean my own stream. I can hear myself. No. Yeah, so go rate Pete. Yeah, so go check him out. Cool. Alright, so I'll be back next week at some point. Yeah, definitely. I reckon I'll be live at some point, but probably just wait for a little bit. Yeah, but until then, I'll catch you then. Until then, goodbye.